Hello, my loves. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dustina. This is Spiritually Boujee Astrology, and we're going to take a deeper look at the new moon in Cancer. Now, the new moon in Cancer has a couple other transits that are going on. Not meant to be heavy. This new moon is not meant to feel heavy. For many people, if it is a heaviness that's coming through, it's an emotional heaviness that is coming through. But for many people, what this new moon is meant to represent is levels of healing. Healing, peace, reprieve. We've had so many turns in the energy of either no longer feeling supported or no longer wishing to support another person, no longer having certain people in your corner, that so many of us are needing to take a step back. And in this new moon, we are in the midst of taking a step back. Now, that sounds really light, but that's not fully how I have been picking up on this energy. For a lot of people, what I've been picking up on is that we are at the end of a boxing round we did not know we were going into. And the thing about the end of each round in a boxing match is you must take your corner. When you get to your corner, what do your people do? They wipe the sweat off your brow, they wipe your face, they evaluate the cuts, the wounds, they look at resetting your nose, they look at how swollen your eyes are, they look at this. Get a fresh drink, get some air, take a moment, and breathe. This new moon feels like we're taking our corners. Over recent weeks, many of us have felt something shift around us. Either we no longer wish to care for certain people, we no longer wish to be responsible for certain people, we are no longer putting up with certain people's bullshit, and we have started to turn and move away. Many of you have already moved away. Some of you still got some turning to do. Now, are you doing the turn in this new moon? I don't think so. Again, I feel like people are taking their corners. They're taking the step back. They're evaluating the situation. They're evaluating how they feel in the moment. They are taking a deeper look. Now, for some people, the step back is peaceful because you have separated from another person, because you have broke out of a certain situation and you feel a certain amount of hope, knowing that after just a few days of catching your breath, you're going to have to come out swinging. Now, in some ways, that sounds like, all fight. It doesn't have to be fight, but it does have to feel determined. You have to come out of your corner with a purpose. You have to come out of this corner ready to take action. That action's not going to come through for a while. I see that. Not immediately. So much of the energy around this new moon and the days following the new moon honestly feels like a reset. It feels like us staying in our corner. It feels like us trying to determine what it is we need to do to heal parts of ourselves. There's an internalized energy that needs to be recognized. The thing about being in your corner, knowing that you're going to go back out for a round, is some of us in that corner are stewing. We're stewing from that cheap shot, that low blow, that little knock that shouldn't have happened. We're stewing over something. And as we go through this new moon and we go through the energy around this new moon, we start to strategize an action that we're going to take. And that comes through with Saturn's retrograde sextile to Mars. There's something strategic about a past situation, about a past thing, an old role, an old responsibility that is starting to influence the now. By no longer having this responsibility, by no longer having this weight, by no longer having this connection, this pivotal or chaotic disruptive action can follow, can occur, can take place. Mars is direct. Now, if we were in a full moon, I would feel like this is far more of the chaotic disruption. I feel like for a lot more people, we are a very pivotal energy. And this is why I go with there's a strategy involved. We know we need to do certain things. We know we need to expose and bring certain things to light. Many of us have already done some levels of exposure and some levels of bringing things to light. But the other side of that is that there's more to come. The human effect is not everything that has meant to come out has come out. There's more to come. There's more layers. And they're going to come out in the next rounds. Please note how I said rounds. I'm going to do a Mercury retrograde video, not this week, probably next week. And I'm going to go over the rounds. There's a reason I'm saying this new moon feels like us taking our corner. It's because I can see how that energy is going to go, how much it's going to play through, and how much it's going to bring to the surface, and how long it's going to impact us, and the ripple effect of how that's going to continue. Some of the recent turns have created an immediate exposure that has also got a ripple effect. If you just lost your job, that's going to impact your family. Ripple effect. If something's going wrong with your business partner and they've been doing shady things, doing the right thing to get them removed from the situation is going to have a ripple effect. Sometimes the exposure is not just that truth in the moment. It is not just that situation. It is those around the situation that are going to get the blowback. And that goes into some of the emotions that can be bubbling up in this new moon. The fear, the anguish. How do we go forward from here? What do we do next from here? That can be real for some people. And these will be new emotions that come to the surface. Well, how long do you think you'll be without a job? I don't know. Sometimes whenever you're in very select fields, if you go without a job, you'll go without one for months. And then the only way you're going to get a new one is if you have to relocate. Be aware of these kinds of things, because they can be part of what leads into being the future energy. There's a strategy involved. And the desire to heal certain things is also involved. Heal things for our loved ones, heal things that we missed, heal things from the past, heal certain connections that we desire to come through. Now that comes through for some people based off of Chiron's square to Venus. How do we fix something? How do we heal something? How do we nurture this and take it forward into something bigger, into something brighter? What do we do? Now, Chiron's square to Venus does not have a heavy impact. But if you have certain energies that you've been feeling inside that needs to be healed, that one's going to be the bigger one. Whenever it comes to a new moon in Cancer, though, we start to desire new things to nurture, new things to care for, new things to consider, new things to evaluate, and new things that are going to take us forward. Some of you are stewing in this new energy, and the only way that you are going to be able to nurture yourself is to actually bring certain things to light. It is to expose it. For some people, the energy that you are feeling in this new moon is just the angst of that you know something else is coming, but it's not happening in this moment. And you can have difficulties with sitting still. I get that. But in the moment, you can. I'm letting you know it is safe in this moment. We get to the middle of next week, and definitely the week after. Very different conversation. But in the moment, we can do these things to relax, to breathe, to have reprieve, and evaluate the exposure. There's a reason I'm saying that we need to take the corner and take this moment to reset our energies, because it will not be very long. And a lot of people are going to have to come out of that corner swinging, ready to swing, ready to defend themselves, pushing for response, pushing for action, pushing for reactions. But in this moment, you need to have a good strategy in mind before doing that. Take this time for the reprieve and take this time to feel better if you can. Okay. For those that have never been a part of a new moon or full moon video before, that is okay. Everything that I read is from a whole house system. So I don't care if your ascendant is at 2 degrees or 22 degrees. The entire zodiac sign that your ascendant is in is your first house. And then every numerical house that follows will now be associated with the next zodiac sign. So with that being said, for Aries and Aries rising, ooh, this is a new moon in your 4th house of home life, family, roots, ancestry, genetics. Now, there's not a lot of astrologers out there that use genetics with the 4th house, but I do, because I've seen how it works. I've seen it. For some people, we're dealing with certain things that can be tied to an inheritance, not a financial inheritance, but more along the lines of a tangible inheritance. That's something I picked up on intuitively just now. There can be the awareness of having to spend additional money for the home, on our family, with our loved ones in the moment. Having to step up and take additional care of someone in our home, within our home life, within our family. The focus is very much on mothers, matrons, especially for you guys. Some of you might be looking at the idea of having to take on additional financial care of a loved one that might not have been anticipated. Others might be having to deal with some level of additional responsibility that they were not anticipating, but it is in some odd way a level of tradition that you're starting to take on, that you're going to be forced to follow, that you're going to be forced to handle. In the moment, the most mundane sense is you could be just spending time with family in this new moon. And for us here in the States, that's a real easy energy to say, because it is a holiday. It is July 4th. It is Independence Day, not during the new moon, but it is an Independence weekend. So there's a lot of things that are worth celebrating in this new moon. But a lot of you are going to start to understand like something that's going on within your family, around certain people in your family. You're going to be having to learn about certain things within your family, especially whenever it comes to children or siblings. Again, we can have certain things tied to inheritance, but I don't feel like it's like you are having to deal with it in the moment of inheritance. It's like learning about the potential of an inheritance. I don't know why I keep picking up on that. But for you guys, I am, because it's not, there's nothing with 8th house stuff, but I think it's the 12th house things I'm picking up on. Anyways, the cards kind of speak to this too. So these two came out together. We have this 10 of coins and the 10 of wands. With Saturn in your 12th, there's a lot of things that are coming to rounds of completion. A lot of things that are speaking to levels of healing. But for us to truly heal what we need to heal whenever it comes to family, we need to make sure we're doing the right things especially with caring for ourselves. We're going to come back to this 10 of coins, 10 of wands, but I'm going to go bring the next two. The next two that came out were the Tower and the Star card. And it's interesting is even in the deck, the Star card follows the Tower. The Tower is one of the only cards in the deck that actually indicates something tied to a structure. So in some ways, you can look at the Tower card and be like, oh, everything's going to fall apart. But in another way is that there can be a lot of focus of what needs to change around an actual structure. And this is, again, a new moon in that fourth house of home, home life, and family. Some of you might be having to deal with who's inheriting what. Who's going to take over grandpa's land? Who's going to be taking care of grandma moving forward? Who's going to be taking care of mom moving forward? There's additional layers of responsibility to this. Those responsibilities can be very beneficial, 10 of coins, but they can also be a very overwhelming burden with this 10 of wands energy. Some of you are looking at the idea of taking on some additional burdens, additional responsibilities, and additional expenditures. Now, I say this now because Mars is in that second house of money. Your chart ruler is in your second house of money. Many of you can find yourselves doing additional things about spending money to help other people, to help your family, to fix those things around the house, to do certain things. And there is this element that actually speaks to tradition. I was hearing that before this card came out, but we got the Hierophant card, and then we also got this Queen of Coins. Some of you are being forced to take responsibility because somebody else wouldn't do it. Somebody else would not step up. Somebody else did not want to be in charge of something anymore. So this is going to force a lot of you to take additional responsibilities that you did not plan to incur. I didn't say that right. You did not plan to incur, but you're having to. You're being forced to. You're being stepped up. You're being forced to step up into something in the moment. Now, the force doesn't always have to mean like pushing, like a physical push, but it's more along the lines of so-and-so can't handle this anymore. And I don't know how we're going to take care of mom. I don't know what we're going to do. And then somebody else goes, I can do it. I can handle it. I can handle that cost. I can handle taking care of that. I can travel with them. I can take them there. I can do whatever is necessary. And many of you are going to feel like you need to step up. The step up is going to be helpful. New moon in Cancer. It can be very healing. New moon in Cancer. It can also bring additional things to light that in the long term is going to force you to face certain things that you need to heal. And notice how I said long term. Those will be a lot of the things that will start to come up later this fall. That chapter of reevaluation that's meant to come through. It'll get triggered based off the decisions that are going on in this new moon. It can be rather interesting. Okay, moving along. Moving along. We're going to get the Taurus and Taurus rising. What did I do? Oh, I need hour. Okay, there we go. Taurus and Taurus rising. All right, my loves. Okay. This is a new moon in your third house. Are we traveling? Are we having somebody come through from a long distance? Somebody from out of town coming to stay at our house? Are we having to take on some additional work? Something that's changing in the marketing, something that's changing in the branding, something that's changing in the way that you talk to people and the way that you connect with certain people? Absolutely. You got a lot of work that you're doing. Mars in your first house, one thing that I've been warning Taurus risings about is he can make you rather clumsy. He can make you super clumsy, but it can also make you super driven. So over the last few weeks, while Mars has been going through Taurus, if you Taurus risings have suddenly been in every situation where you have no idea where your bruises are coming from, you're far more accident prone than normal. That's because good old Mars makes you clumsy. He does that to people. However, in this new moon, we don't have to be clumsy. We can be going somewhere with our family, going somewhere new, making certain plans in our marketing and in our strategies as to how we're going to connect with people differently, what we're going to be doing next, how we're going to succeed. We are so driven and motivated to do certain things, to go in a certain place. There's a desire. But for so many of you, it's been a hidden desire. Not everybody knows that you want to take these steps forward. Not everybody knows that you've made so many different changes. Some of you are going to be communicating that in this new moon, telling people, oh yeah, I don't work there anymore. I'm doing this now. Bringing them out of the fog, bringing them out of, not knowing, denial, and making people aware of your changes. Who are you communicating with? What's going on with your siblings? Many of you will be dealing with something around your siblings with a new moon in the third house. Learning new things, experiencing new things, talking about new things. It is not meant to be a heavy energy. Again, this is meant to be a very healing energy, but still there is work to be done. 8 of Coin, Ace of Cups, and the Hermit card. The thing about some of us is that we like to work in silence. Some of the fixed signs, Scorpio rising to Taurus rising now. We don't always tell everybody what we're working on until after the fact. We can be very strategic in how we're doing things because we don't want something to blow up in our face midway through and end up with egg on our face. So a lot of us, we're very slow to make certain announcements. But what you can start to do is very soft spoken announcements, telling the people in your family the things that they're not aware of, what you've been working on in silence with this Hermit card. We have this Ace of Cups, which speaks to so much of the new energy, that new plan, the new car, the new travel, the new things that's coming through with this Ace of Cups. But with this 8 of Coins energy, there's also a lot of work to be done. Now, a new moon in your third house can literally mean getting a new car, just FYI. Feeling like we can go out there and make that little expenditure. And if that's the case, some of you are going to be also evaluating how much more you're going to have to work to pay for that car. New moon in Cancer. But others are not in that situation. I don't feel like that's going to be many people. I feel like a lot more people are either looking to travel, or you're changing something in your verbiage, you're changing something in your marketing plan, you're changing something in the way that you're talking to people because you know how much work needs to be done to make something become a success. So we got a couple cards here. We have the 6 of Wands, the Death card, the 4 of Coins, and the King of Swords. The 6 of Wands is celebratory. By bringing certain things out of the shadows, by letting certain people know things have changed, Death card, transformation. Not only can you revel in the success and the celebration, 6 of Wands, but you can also be very aware with how you share yourself moving forward. It can be a very strategic change. With the 4 of Coins energy, there are some people that are super protective and they have to hold everything really tight to their chest. They only let so much be known. Many of you will be like that. But the other side of that is like, you can't keep everything to your chest because you have to let certain people become aware. You have to let certain people into a situation. King of Swords. Sticking to the facts, the figures, the receipts, sticking to the truth, sticking to what is real, sticking to only what you have worked on will make it a lot easier to allow a certain amount of exposure to the recent changes without exposing everything, without revealing everything, without bragging about everything. It's not a heavy energy. It actually feels really good. Okay, moving along. Are gonna get to Geminis and Gemini risings. How y'all feeling? Oh, I know that Venus conjunction to the sun in your first house, it's brought a lot of things up to the surface. It's brought a lot of things around. It's forced a lot of changes, and you're still dealing with the effects of that, by the way. But now you have Jupiter so far away from the sun that his energy is actually doing more to inflate and boost your confidence. I said this would start to happen. We have a certain magnetic energy that is starting to attract people to us with Jupiter in that first house. Let them in. Magnetic attraction. Everything Jupiter touches, it expands. That's a good thing 90% of the time. The only time I don't like it is whenever people are going through health situations. And considering you still have something going through your 12th house, good old Mars, by the way, there can be energies that speak to those health situations, those things that trigger stress. I cannot talk today. There can be things that are still getting revealed, that are still getting found, that have been going on behind the scenes and below the surface, that is going to continue to put a focus on you, whether you like it or not. However, much of what is starting to occur right now is going to give you a whole different level of drive and confidence and boost. It's just not happening immediately. You're learning something. You're learning something about the past. You're learning about how things are going to get done. And you're learning something that is going to finally make it easier for you to be able to make certain steps forward to unburden yourself from the things that have been so detrimental to both your mental and emotional health. We are getting closer to allowing certain things to close out, to allow certain things to change. Once Mars comes into your first, and this isn't going to happen for a few weeks, by the way, a whole different level of motivation is going to set in for you guys. Now, in the moment, the most mundane thing about a new moon in that second house of money is we can be feeling very pulled to go do something new that can either make us money, or we can be getting pulled in a direction that has us spending money. Both are very likely. Both can be true at the same time. Something coming through that has an unexpected expense that we just didn't want to handle. And it can be real. However, with Saturn now retrograde in your 10th house of career and Mars direct in that 12th house, not everybody is having to spend money in this moment. Some people are having to really calculate how much more they're going to be dealing with a certain situation, how much longer they're going to deal with a certain situation with this judgment card. Because if you make a dire change, you need to be financially sound in it with the Five of Coin. Now, the Five of Coin, it is the bankruptcy card. It is the desolate card. Many people are going into situations to where you are feeling hopeless in how you make your money. You're feeling the tension and the stress and the pressure tied to the elder, tied to certain authority figures, tied to certain responsibilities. And no matter how hard you try, you know that you're not making them happy. You're not making the situation go the way they want. And again, we're dealing with things that are very burdensome. We have the Three of Coin and the Nine of Wands. There's little bits of physical work, Three of Coin, that requires tinkering, revising, revisioning, planning. You're getting close to unburdening yourself with the Nine of Wands, but it is not complete yet. Now we're getting really close to that Mars-Uranus conjunction. I don't know how many of you are going to remember the last one. That happened in August of 2022. But many of you were blindsided then. You will have some level of blindsiding that's going to come through in the next few weeks that is going to really force you to take certain actions. It is going to motivate you to take certain actions. And a lot of you, the motivation is going to come through somewhere between that July 15th and July 21st mark when we hit that second full moon in Capricorn. When Mars comes into your first house, because that's going to happen that week, he is going to force some level of action or reaction within you. You're getting close to unburdening yourself from certain things. You're getting closer to separating from certain people, from certain things, but you're not in the moment ready to take those steps forward. You're reevaluating. You're getting a plan together. You're shaking hands and kissing babies before you take these steps forward into something far greater, into something far more manageable and far more successful for you. There's a few loose ends to wrap up. Be prepared for those loose ends getting triggered in that week of July that I was talking about, the 15th to the 21st. Be aware of the triggers. Be aware of the unexpected blindsiding that can happen in that final Mars-Uranus conjunction. The reason I keep saying the final is because the next time they will have a conjunction, Uranus will be in Gemini. So whatever starts to happen from this point forward is going to change certain direction and push more of you into a far more independent phase than the one that you've been in. So many of you with Uranus going through your 12th has really put certain attachments onto other people because for some odd reason we have not wanted to have full control. We've been reliant on others. Many of you have given up certain amounts of your independence quite willingly. But what will activate in the weeks ahead following this new moon, this is very specific to the Gemini risings, by the way, because I can already feel like the intuition tangent taking over right now, is going to push you all to become far more independent over the course of the next year. And by next year, I literally mean by next summer. Because by next summer, we will start to have our very first inklings of Uranus coming into Gemini. We'll get the first round of it. We'll get a preview glimpse. It won't be official until 2026, but we're going to get a preview of it next year. So much of the energy for this next solar year, so from July to July, is pushing you into a direction to where you are forced to be more independent and not be underneath someone else's control. Not be reliant on another person. You're doing certain amounts of internal healing at the moment that is going to lead to certain actions and reactions that are going to come through very, very soon. Okay. Okay. I'm going to leave you alone. We're going to go Cancers and Cancer risings. Oh, my loves. How many people have been talking to you, looking for you, calling you, reaching out to you, all up in your business? How many people are in Cancer's face? I wouldn't be surprised. Whether it's just a handful or a lot, I would not be surprised by the answer. Many of you are getting a whole new focus on yourself and starting to find a whole new purpose, a whole new set of personal strength. You feel like luck has been shifting and luck has been changing. It's helped you get over certain things from the past and heal in certain situations. And your best foot is coming forward in so many ways. This new moon is going to instigate a lot of new energy that's going to be coming through for and around you. The new truths, the new pride, the new attention. Venus in your first is attracting a lot of attention. And many of you are on the brink of starting something very, very new, very, very quickly. New chapters in your life, new steps into the future, into your career. We're going into something very, very new and plentiful and bountiful for you. And the people around you are starting to notice. Now, for some people, whatever's going on around you, it's going to spark jealousy. Mars is in your 11th. That's a possibility. For other people, though, you're going to see these very big waves and change and rounds of support. Both can be true at the same time. The people that have cheered you on are meant to change because you are changing. And over the next lunar month ahead, new moon to new moon, so this beginning of July to the beginning of August is going to have a reflection of all the new energies surrounding you and who you are and who you are becoming. And so much of the energy in the cards speak to this. So our first three that came out, we have the Strength card, that Nine of Cups, and that Seven of Swords. The Strength card was first. We are finding our new strength. We are finding this new form of personal power. We are gaining control of our ego and our pride, and we are growing into something that can be very lucky, Nine of Cups, fortunate. And again, it is going to help us get past all of those betrayals and those things that we need to heal with this Seven of Swords energy. Now, the thing about where this energy is taking us as a whole, as a collective, not just in the new moon, but over the course of the next few months. So you guys know that I do more than just the new moon's energy whenever I do this stuff. It's making you reevaluate your home life and making you reevaluate certain connections and partnerships, because there is something that needs to come to a close. And we're in the midst of activating that. And that too speaks to this new form of you that needs to come through. For you to be able, the newest version of yourself, you're going to have to completely overcome something or someone from the past. Now, this can be very, very heavy, the things that you can face. But for other people, each time somebody from the past comes back around, it will be empowering, because it's going to be very easy to tell them the truth, Ace of Swords, that you are not who they think they are. You love yourself more. You believe in yourself more. You're capable of more, Queen of Cups. Venus is in her first. And again, we are taking very fast moving steps into new direction, into new chapters, into new beginnings with the Fool card and the Eight of Wands. I'm going to clear up. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. So for many of you, this new recognition as to who you're going to be moving forward is based off of the way that your family sees you, because something needs to change in this area. Venus will be the more dominant ruler of the next eclipse energy. It will. And that's going to happen in September. Venus is the ruler of Libra. So much of what's starting for you is a reflection of how your family sees you, how certain people in your surroundings are seeing you, the way that you are dealing with certain things. You've got somebody by your side, somebody that believes in you, somebody that's supporting you. For some of you, it's not one person, it's multiple people, because Venus also rules that 11th house of friends and network and colleagues. So you're surrounding yourself with a whole set of people. A whole new tribe. And those people are there to motivate you. If they're not there to motivate you, then they're there to test you, test your patience. Whether you are going through the motivations or the testing, you can feel the attention, you can feel the vibration, you can feel the activity. And again, over the course of the next lunar month, so new moon to new moon, July the 5th to, I think it was August 3rd or 4th, that's when the next new moon is. This timeline of energy is transitioning a focus for you, within you, and around you. And little by little, it's going to build up more and more confidence in where you're going next and preparing you for the depths of what you're going to be dealing with next. Anyone that's coming towards you, that's trying to help you, check in on you, Ask the questions to verify whether they're being truthful or honest or real. But if you can feel that somebody that's coming back through or coming around at this moment is on your side, then they likely are. And they have a necessary purpose to help you go into these next directions. Good, bad, or ugly. Okay. Okay. Moving along. All right. We're going to get to Leos and Leo risings. Oh, my loves. This is a new moon in your 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, endings, what needs to be healed. Many of you are getting out of Dodge. Think about the 12th houses. You can also go into uncharted territory, explore new areas, find these places that bring us peace, that bring us hope. We can be getting out of our homes, getting out of wherever we have been, and we can be focusing on something that feels healing. There's something that we need to heal. There's something that we need to work through. Many of you, you're needing to physically heal something in your body, something in your actual health. You can feel the burdens of certain things, and you're having to, again, heal parts of the body. For others, whatever you are trying to heal is more mental. It's more emotional. It has to do with the past, especially the things since last summer. Here's the deal. Moving you back to front right here. Here in the next few weeks, Venus is going to come into your first house. Venus spent 4 months and 4 days last year in Leo. She did a lot of things, and many of you are still dealing with the ripple effect of whatever she brought to light, whatever she did to you, whether it was your physical health, your mental health, whether it was an impact to your ego and the attention that was falling on you. She did a number on you guys. I said it was going to happen too. When the nodes changed signs, the South Node went into Venus' sign, and then we went straight into a Venus retrograde. That purge, hyperized purge, the way people were being seen last summer, they were not being seen for the right ways. Now we're starting to round into an energy that we know for us to heal and finally get over certain things and to let things go, we are going to have to deal with some of the things from the past. And for you guys, I most specifically say last summer. There are going to be things from last summer that are about to start to come back around. And you've probably already been starting to see the writing on the wall. You've already started to see certain things come to light that you were not necessarily anticipating, but they very much came through. Putting these cards together. Hold on. All right. We have the Sun card, the Nine of Wands, the Tower card, and the World card. Again, a lot of what started to happen last summer wasn't great. It wasn't fun. It brought a lot of things to the surface. It was not a good time for people's health. And it was certainly not a good time for people to be seen. Because again, with this Tower card and the World card, a lot of people last summer, if you had certain things coming to light, you got seen for the wrong reasons. The things that you were doing for attention got taken the wrong way. Some of you, the things that you were doing for attention, you know you were doing it the wrong way, and you got called out on it. We're about to start to round back into these things that we need to fix and heal and overcome from last summer. And in some ways, you're already feeling that coming through. We have the Six of Cups, we have the Ten of Coin, and we have the Magician. As you're celebrating Independence Day, as you're going out and you're having this R&R time, as you're taking the step back, as you're resetting all of your personal energy, the strategy with the Magician is really starting to come through. We've got ideas. This is a mercurial card. Mercury is in your first house. You have ideas of how you want to change something, of how you want to move into a different direction, of how you wish to go somewhere different. You have ideas of how you can make things better, 10 of coin, but they're not all going to come through immediately. The changes that are going to come through over the next few months requires strategy. And that's what a lot of this energy feels like, especially for you guys. Now, many of you are having to deal with like how you heal something, how you're going to let go of the past. You can have these little triggers of the past coming through over the next lunar month ahead, and that's new moon to new moon. How you're going to heal something, how you're going to let go of certain situations tied to the past. That can be a very big energy. This new moon can bring up all of this old energy, these old wounds, these old emotions that need to be triggered, that need to be healed, that need to be understood. You need to process them because for whatever reason, whenever things happened before, you did not process them. You bottled them up, you stuck them on a shelf, and you thought, it's fine, the lid's on it. No. No, that lid came off. There are things that we need to process. There are wounds that need to be held. We need to work through whatever is coming up in this new moon. We need to process mentally the emotions of what's coming up in this new moon. We need to work through our shit in the healthiest way possible. So that way, that new version of you that starts to really come through the rest of this year has legs to stand on. Now, there are some of you that you're going to question whether you can trust certain people. Don't be surprised by that. You are struggling to trust your intuition. Pull your cards. Meditate. And some of you, whenever I say the word meditate, you're like, Dusty, I can't sit still long enough. There is such a thing called active meditation. That's true. Mowing the lawn for me is very meditative. I get a lot of downloads through there. Going for a drive, very meditative. There is a such thing as active meditation. So if you can't sit still and sit there singing Kumbaya with your fingers out, I get it. Find the way that you can meditate and you can clear your mind. Put on the music. Dance around the house. Whatever you need to do to get through that situation and tune more deeply into your intuition. Because some of the people that are going to start to come through over the weeks to months ahead, some of those that are going to come through, you're not going to be able to trust them the way that you think. Some of the people that start to come back here in the near future, you're not going to be able to trust them the way that you think. So get centered in your energy now. Get centered on your strategy now. It's going to help you. Okay. Moving this along. For Virgos and Virgo risings, this is a new moon in your 11th house of friends and network and colleagues and people you want to do business with and how you wish to heal certain things and how you wish to help others heal. I know that sounds weird, but that's kind of where I'm at with you guys. Is so many of you are in this mindset of like how we can recover, how we can move forward, the promise of the future, the promise of healing, and how we can connect with certain people, even though those certain people we don't necessarily feel like we can connect with in the moment. Now, some of you are moving in a new direction and you're starting to meet new people because some kind of decision that has been made by another person has so deeply impacted you. It has forced you to go into a new energy and forced you to start to meet new people and forced you to go in a new direction. Why do I say that? Because Saturn and Neptune started their retrograde days apart in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships and legal matters. So many of you are going into foreign territory, going into uncharted waters, going into a situation you've never dealt with before. You're starting to meet new people, and that's not always a bad thing. However, some of those people that you're going to start to meet, they're not always going to be your friend. They're the best in the situation because someone else has backed out. Someone else is not following through. Someone else is not who we wish to work with anymore. So we're going to try something new. Some of you, you're going to feel stuck for a while, not knowing how to do something new. And some of the initial ideas that you're going to make, they're not going to go your way. You're going to feel like you're missing opportunities because of what has occurred. You're missing out on business because of what has occurred. It's not necessarily true, but it is something that needs to be addressed and realized. Now, why do I say so many of you are in uncharted territory? Why would I say that? Because Mercury, your chart ruler, is in your 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, and endings. Either you are in the process of working through something right now that you know actively you're going to be closing out, i.e., you're packing all the shit in your house because you know you're going to move. It's a good example. Or you're really looking at another person and the way that they're not handling things, and you're realizing more and more you can't trust them. And internally, we're going through this energy of like, I don't believe you. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to hang. This type of energy. We feel very, very stuck in many ways. We've got the Hangman, we have the Four of Cups, and we have the Two of Swords. If I can get these in order, there we go. Hangman, Four of Cups, Two of Swords. The thing about the Hangman is he's always stuck in a way that he can get himself unstuck if he would just make a decision. The rope is not pulled tight. His hands are not completely bound. He just hasn't made the choice to reach up and untie himself. There are many times that we can stay stuck in a situation because we forbid to make a decision. Two of Swords. We forbid to remove our blindfold to look at the two realities in front of us and make a decision. Because so many of you are either stuck on a past opportunity with the Four of Cups, or you're afraid that if you make the wrong decision now, that you're going to regret it later. With Mercury being in your 12th house, so many of you need to go into the uncharted waters. You need to go and experience the things that you've never experienced before. You need to go towards the new and not the old. Why do I say that? Because Saturn is now retrograde in that 7th house. Neptune also retrograde in that 7th house. The old ways of doing things are not going to provide you with the new opportunities that you desire. The old people that you've been connected with are not going to give you the same level of support moving forward that you desire. So you're going to be making certain decisions in the weeks ahead to make adjustments as to who you believe, who you wish to do business with, how you wish to be seen, and how you wish to thrive. Here's your next cards. You have the Ace of Coin, Page of Cup, the Magician, and the Star card. The Ace of Coins speaks to new beginnings, new luck, new fortune. The Page of Cups, heartfelt energy of what we're bringing forward. And this can have to do with children, but this can also have to do with our own personal happiness. We're breaking into certain new energies that require strategy with this Magician. And it requires awakening to the new potential with the Star card. So many times the Magician has come up throughout the signs. There's a strategy. There's planning involved. There's a lot going on, but it's all beneath the surface. We have emotional processing that needs to be handled, but it's all beneath the surface. This Magician card is requiring you to evaluate something you've never done before, someplace you've never been before. You're trying to get answers for something you've never been a part of before. But each time you work more in this strategy, you're learning more, you're realizing more, you're getting more energy. So many of you, for you to go into the next level of success you wish to have, you have to go into the uncharted territory. And that speaks volumes with how this is going to go moving forward. Okay. Okay. Moving along. We're going to get to Libras and Libra risings. Okay, my loves. This is a new moon in your 10th house of career. New things going on at work, new things going on with people in your surroundings, new word with the people that you trust, new words are being spoken on your behalf, new ideas, new plans. And some of you have disruptions that are going to come with this new moon. For the Libra risings, I do feel like the exposure element is really big for you guys, because this is a new moon in your 10th house of career. Very, very close to your chart ruler, who's about to go through its version of revising, revamping, and closing out old business once Venus goes into Leo. And there will be some final things that go back to what's happened since last summer that's going to be pushing many of you into a new direction. You just don't know it yet. Now, in the moment, you can feel like everything is going great and everything's starting to come together. And I got all these plans, I got all these ideas, and all I got to do is make a certain amount of decisions and everything's going to be great. Are you sure? We have a lot of changes that needs to happen before the next eclipse. And that next eclipse is going to bring a whole new version of yourself through. So are you sure you think you have everything planned out? You think you got it all figured out? I don't think you do. You think you do. Many of you do. Some of you are very realistic about the idea that you know that you've got a lot of things going. However, others, not so much. But so much of what's going to start to impact you has very much to do with the people around you. And that speaks volumes through your cards. This Three of Swords energy was the first one that came through. This is a betrayal card. And I've been warning in previous new moon, full moon episodes, when we were going through all that 8th house energy, you need to be aware of not to do things that could be, in that hunky-dory cheating area. Don't get caught in things towards affairs. Don't get caught doing things with other people. Some of you did not heed that warning. The people around you are going to be exposing certain truths. I hope you have your shit in order, because you have no idea what's going to come to light around you. We have the Three of Wands, we have the Death card, and we have the King of Cups. The thing about the Three of Wands is, in the traditional deck, this is a man standing on a pier, but based off of the fog, you can't tell what time of day it is. Is it morning or night? Looks about the same. There's a ship in the distance in the fog, but you can't tell if the ship is coming or going because of the fog. But it doesn't matter. Whether it's the start of something or the end of something, whether that ship is coming or going, it has to do with the fact that it's going on around you and you need to be prepared. You need to be on the dock. Changes are coming. Death card. Things are going to start to come to a close. Death card. Things are going to start to transition into a new focus. Death card. And it's meant to change who you are. King of Cups. The very Venusian energy. A new version of you is meant to come through once we get to the next eclipse. But for that new version of you to come through, we have to get through what's going on in your surroundings. Now, some of you feel like you've got everything worked out. It's so great and it's going to be so successful. I just have to make a certain amount of decisions. I just have to work out this little partnership, work out this little contract, work out this final detail, and everything's going to work out great. I won't have to juggle having two jobs anymore. I won't have to do this certain thing. I just need to make this little connection with the Two of Cups. This is your last card, by the way. We feel like we just need to get these few little things connected and everything's going to be great. For some of you, it will be. For others of you, whatever starts to come through in the next lunar month ahead, that is new moon to new moon, is going to have a very different impact with how things are going to move forward. And many of you are going to be coming to an area of closure because you're not protected the same way. You don't have the support in the same way. You don't have everybody on your side because, again, there is something that speaks to what has been exposed, what has been seen, what has come to light since that Sun-Venus conjunction. It is a part of your rebirth. It is a part of your rebranding. It is a part of who you're becoming next. And so much of that has a level of exposure that needs to be handled first before the newness can be understood, can be handled, and can come through. Okay. Moving along. We're gonna get to not Leo. I don't know. Scorpio. I don't know why I would do that. Scorpio and Scorpio risings. All right. This is a new moon in the 9th house. Some of you are traveling. A new moon in the 9th house. Some of you have other people traveling to you. I fall into that category. I didn't have any plans for the Independence Day, and then I had people at my house. And it all kind of came together within the 24-hour span right before 4th of July actually hit. And I was like, oh, well, look at that. I just knew to expect certain things, but I wasn't making the plans. I was letting them, make themselves and happen naturally. And that's what happened. Some of you are making travel. You're going a long distance. You're all over the place. Some of you are running into people that have been traveling. Others are starting to have a certain test to faith. Certain things that you're starting to question. I want to learn more. I want to know more because I don't feel like I have all of the knowledge that is going to help me. And you're going to be looking at a whole new ability to connect to things beyond yourself because you feel like they're going to get you unstuck and help you find stability. Some of you are correct on that. Others, not so much. Now, some of you might be feeling tests to your faith in this energy. Don't be surprised by that. There are a lot of things that speak to strategy in this new moon. How you're going to handle something with another person. How you're going to move forward by not being responsible or not caring about certain people anymore. Something is shifting. Something is changing. And for many of you, this can be a very emotional moon because there's so much that's been going on tied to other people that makes you realize how overwhelming that situation had been and how much of a betrayal so much has felt like. Secrets have come to the surface. Affairs have come to the surface. Things have come to light. For some of you, you have ended an affair. For some of you, you are ending a certain connection with another person, but that connection has impacted you financially. And again, we're taking on new lessons and we're taking on new experience because we have to do the things that help us get over the overwhelm. Let's get these cards real quick. Here's the Hangman. There's that. He came through with the 7 of Cups. Then we also have the 5 of Cups and the 7 of Swords that have come through as well. So here's the Hangman, Seven of Cups, Five of Cups, Seven of Swords. So many of you are stuck in a form of melancholy because what has been lost is someone that you loved or respected deeply, someone that you held to a certain standard. And now that Mars is going through that seventh house of relationships and partnerships, you've seen someone else quite differently. Something was meant to change. That's going to have a bigger effect and a bigger impact moving forward than what we're just dealing with in the moment. And some of you know that with the Seven of Cups energy, and you're overwhelmed by what has occurred, what you are seeing, and where you are going next. Many of you feel like there is something that needs to be exposed and brought to light, because the only way that you are going to get unstuck, that Hangman card, is by setting an example, telling a story, leading the direction, and leading something moving forward. The only way that you're going to find stability, Four of Wands, is to speak from your heart. That's a bittersweet energy if you end up having to speak from your heart. And you need to be very careful with your words. This is apparently the card of the day, because I feel like every sign has had it. There is something that needs to be strategized, something that needs to be planned out, something that needs to be worked through. This working through is separating you from another person. It is creating space between you and another person. As you get more truth and get more understanding, we will break away from someone differently. There is a strategy in this energy. What I said in the beginning is so much of this energy feels like each of us are taking our corner. For many of you, this taking of corner is either making you plan on dipping out for a while. I need a break. I need a vacation. I need to go somewhere. Some of you are actually traveling in the moment. It helps you reset your energies. Some of you are sitting here and writing out this next form of experience that you need to go through, because again, there is a strategy involved in this energy. After a few days, you're going to come out swinging. Who you swing at and how you handle that swinging, I think, is going to come through in that week between July 15th and July 21st, because that Mars-Uranus conjunction that's going to happen in Taurus on the 15th, the moon is going to be in Scorpio. And it's going to force you to face certain things. It's going to put some attention on you. And that's not very far away. But it's also going to make you aware of how you need to deal with another person, another situation, and something that needs to come to a close. This energy is bittersweet. And I feel like for a lot of you, you know, there is someone in your midst that you cannot trust the same way. You do not love them the same way. And to get away from them and get unstuck with this Hangman card, there is a strategy that must come through. There is planning that must come through. Create that opportunity. The thing about the magician is a lot of times he's the alchemist. The strategy is the plan of how you break away. It is the energy that you're going to create, the narrative that you must create moving forward. Get clear on your story. Get clear on the plan. Get clear on your decision, because it's going to finally help you get unstuck from your situation. Okay, moving along. Okay, we're going to get to Sagittarius and Sagittarius risings. My loves, how's work? No good, no fun? I get it. How's the family? There's someone that you don't like right now. Oh, how did the truth feel when it came out? Was the truth about you, or was the truth about someone else? It's a little different for everybody. Now, why do I say the truth? Because with Saturn and Neptune turning retrograde in that fourth house of home, home life, and family, just in the last week and a half, there has something that has come to light. There has been a secret that has been coming to light. Now, for some of you, it's a simple secret. We're going to have a baby. We're so excited. And you're starting to tell people, and it's so happy. And it's great. And this new moon is a part of a transformation, a mental, emotional transformation. But for others, it's not about a baby. It's nothing about that. It's something else that's gone on that has impacted the family. It is this illusion and delusion that we've let happen for so long. And now we are finally making the decision to let certain truths be understood and said and heard by other people, because we are tired of being stuck in a loop, in a lie. There are tests that are going to come through in the very near future. Financial tests, mental tests, relationship tests. Not all of you are going to be prepared for that. But there's a lot of this energy that's starting to come through. And I do feel like, especially with one of the cards that came through, that many of you need to be very, very focused on your intuition. Listen to your gut. There's something that needs to be spoken, truths that need to be had. Listen to your gut. The only way that you're going to be able to keep your head and heart in alignment, Temperance card, is to listen with your gut. She might hang over the belt line a little bit, but she ain't going to be wrong. She got your back. She holds you together. Trust your gut. You are struggling to get clear on your intuition. Meditate. I know with a lot of y'all, I'm going to say the same thing that I said to you, that I said to Leo risings. Active meditation is a meditation. Take your ass outside, mow the lawn, go for a drive, do whatever you need to do to shake out of that funk. Active meditation will get you clear. And then it's just a matter of making the decisions that are meant to come through and doing the work involved in those decisions to hold certain things steady. 2 of Swords, Strength card, 8 of Coins. There are decisions that you need to face. There are truths that you need to face. Many of you have already put out certain truths. Now you're dealing with the after effect, the ripple effect. Lies have been exposed. There are changes that are going to impact the household, impact your finances, and impact your family that are already in the midst. They're already coming together. But what I will say is, whenever you have so much energy tied to your 8th house, you need to also be aware of new secrets coming through. The potential of new relationships, the potential of affairs. Be aware of your decisions, because you can find yourself getting into a very different situation than you need to be in. For you to have the success you wish to achieve, for you to have the support you've been trying to achieve, for you to be able to have the perfect 10 in your relationship with your partner, in love, in where you're going next, you need to make sure your house is clean, that your head and heart are in alignment. Put certain things in order so you can make space for the benefits of what's going to come through next. And so many of you, you have the chance of getting into like amazing partnerships now that Jupiter's in that 7th house of relationship. Many of you are taking an existing relationship and you're trying to take it forward into marriage and into partnership. And that can be great. However, you need to be doing it the right way with the right people. And some of you are going to be getting tested following this new moon. Tested to see if you've learned past lessons. Be aware of that, especially as we get closer to the Mercury retrograde, and Mercury retrograde is going to be all of August. Y'all got tests coming through. Relationship tests, financial tests, tests that can deeply impact the way your future is going to go moving forward. Stay vigilant. Stay clear as best as you can. Okay, moving along. Moving along, we're going to get to Capricorns and Capricorn risings. Oh my goves, my loves. This is a new moon in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships and legal matters. There is something tied to another person that's impacting a change within you. Why do I say that? Because this is the new moon that is right in between the 2 full moons in Capricorn. The reflections of how you have changed as an individual over the recent weeks is now impacting how you're connecting to another person, how you're seeing another situation. You have a new connection forming, many of you. Something else is coming to light. Something else is getting recognized. Many of you would choose to stay in your little hermit shell forever if you could, but you can't. And so many of you need to deal with certain emotions and certain truths tied to another person in this new moon. You need to heal things. Some of you are prepared for that. Others, not so much. But the changes that you are going through as an individual are meant to directly impact the way that you see relationships, the way that you see the future, the way that you see your potential family moving forward. There are things that must be addressed. And there are new connections that are going to come through in the lunar month ahead. That would be new moon to new moon. And we're already dealing with the Capricorn full moon lunar month. But over the lunar month ahead, that is changing the way you see another person, another situation. You are not dealing with partners the same way. You are not dealing with relationship the same way. You are having to come into reality, come out of your shell and deal with certain truths. And some of you are knowing that the truths that you're going into, you are not completely prepared for. Hermit card, Knight of Swords, 4 of coin. You're keeping things close to your chest. You're keeping your feelings close to your chest. You're keeping certain cards, certain things close to your chest. You don't want everyone to see you. That Hermit card is real. But the words that you need to speak, Knight of Swords, the truths that need to be understood, Page of Swords, the new things coming through are going to be based off of the decisions that have been weighing on you, 2 of coin. For something to be healed in a partnership, in a connection, in a relationship with another person, we have to really mull over the new facts, the new information, the new truths that we have pursued, because they have impacted this kind of decision. Now, for some of you, that decision has to do with your career because Venus rules that 10th house of career. For some of you, it is having to do with a legal matter towards your children. Why do I say that? Because Venus also rules your 5th house of children. And you could be dealing with some kind of relationship matter or legal matter that is affecting the children. Childlike behavior can be triggered. We can have certain things going back to childhood that are starting to come back around. There can also be secrets that are being brought to the surface. You have something tied to another person that needs to be addressed, but you're not ready to make that decision. For you to be able to hit the levels of success that you're wanting, because I feel like a lot more people, because of the trajectory of Venus and how we're going more towards the south node and, you know, the next eclipse axis that's going to hit in September, for you to have the amount of success you wish to achieve, for you to have the benefits, the financial benefits, the relation benefits of everything that you wish to have, We need to let something tied to another person unfold. For that to unfold, many of you are going to have to speak certain truths. Page of Swords. You have the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. There is truth and information that must be felt, that must be seen, that must come to light. And they are a big part of what's impacting the change around you as an individual as we get closer to that second full moon in Capricorn. So much is changing in your mind, in your body, in your emotions. And one half of that is the internalized acceptance energy for yourself. The other half of that, though, is based on what is unfolding around another person. Whether that's a relationship, whether that is a friendship, whether that is a legal matter, whether that is something with your kids, it is tied to another person. And the things that that other person can trigger within you can be a big part of those next changes that need to be made in the next full moon in Capricorn. But they won't just be that full moon's changes. They will be a rippling effect of long-term changes to help you finally get over old wounds and old fear. Who you trust in this energy is so important. Be aware of that. Okay, moving along. For Aquarius and Aquarius risings, went too far. Go back. Okay. Oh, a new moon in your 6th house of health, how you care for yourself, how you care for other people. There has been news that has been brought to light that is starting to impact your routine. There has been an adjustment tied to another person that is starting to impact your routine. And it is going to make you question whether you are happy in certain situations. Are you questioning everything in the moment? Not necessarily. Will you be questioning it in the future? Abso-freaking-lutely. Because certain truths have come to light. Certain events have happened. And there has been a disruption in the home life, in your family. Now, some of you know exactly what that disruption was. Some of you know that the changes that are going on in your home life are based off of your decisions. You're moving. You're getting that bigger house. You're finally doing that different thing. You're breaking away from that family home. And you're leaving old memories behind. You're looking at a new way that you can set up your roots. You're looking at a new place as to how you can see your family. You're listening to your intuition and you're seeing these opportunities. And it's going to make you make a lot of changes in your routine and how you do things. That's a good thing. However, some of you have no clue what's coming through. You've had one level of blindsiding energy, but you haven't had all of it. And there will be some additional things that are going to come through in the weeks ahead. Things that are going to make you question your happiness and whether you believe someone or not. We're going in between 2 full moons in your 12th house, while a new moon is going on in your 6th. Whatever is starting to take shape around you can have levels of betrayal. Whatever is starting to take shape around you can, in one moment, make you feel like you've got a big handle on everything at work and in your routine. You're going to start doing this whole new thing and taking care of yourself. And this is how you're going to heal. This is the decision that you are going to make, Page of Swords, for how you heal and how you're going to be better and how you're going to be the happiest within yourself. You think you're getting something figured out, but not everything that is meant to come through, that is meant to trigger what's happening next, has hit yet. And I said in the beginning of this episode is that many of us are like we're in a boxing match. And this new moon feels like we're going to our corner. High Priestess, Page of Cups, 3 of Cups. As certain things are being celebrated around you, you need to listen with both your ears and your third eye. Take in that energy, take in what's going on, take in what's being said, and take all of it with a grain of salt. What you think you have figured out, you do not have figured out. What you think you know is going to happen is not going to happen quite that way. And there will be a lot of things that are going to get triggered in the weeks ahead that you need to be prepared for, that are going to take you back to an old place, old feelings, old wounds. In this moment, you feel like you can overcome anything. And that's not completely true. You're going to get tested very, very soon with the new that you're trying to do. The foundation that was built in May is going to get tested far sooner for you guys than any other sign. You went straight into new testing, straight into new energy. And many of you still don't completely understand what you're moving into, and that's understandable. But so much of where we're about to hit in the rest of the summer is going to make you question how much you trust another person. The writing is on the wall now. Open your eyes, your 2 and your 3rd. Listen. Listen with your gut, listen with your intuition, pay attention to what's going on around you, because there's a shift in your routine. There's a shift in how you're doing something. There's a shift in those people around you. And it's going to make you rethink connections very, very soon. Pay attention to what's being said this weekend, because you're not getting the whole truth. Okay, moving along. For Pisces and Pisces risings, this is a new moon in your 5th house of love and luck and joy and romance and happiness and children. What's new in your love life? What's new with your kids? What's new with the people that you surround yourself with? What little things from your childhood keep coming back to haunt you? The thing about Saturn and Neptune, both in your 1st house, is they can make you very melancholic, nostalgic. They can make you question your ideas moving forward. They can make you question a lot. And many of you are going through an energy that is really making you revise and reevaluate what you thought made you happy. You're in this energy where you're having to take stock of everything, because you know, for you to be happy, the way that it moves forward is not going to be the way that everybody thought. Many of you are having to move forward on your own and no longer in partnership. The revision of said partnership has not hit yet. Some of you are going to be having certain details that are coming to light tied to your health, and they're going to make you have to deal with something that you were not anticipating. They're going to make you deal with certain things that you were not wanting to focus on. For some of you, it is going to be your health. For others of you, it is going to be the health of a loved one, the health of family members. You're going to be having to step up and do some additional things that you were not thinking that you were going to have to do before. And many of you, whenever you start to take on these additional things, you're going to be doing them without the help of another person. You are no longer feeling like you can trust other people. You are not feeling like you have the same love and support of other people. You are starting to feel the weight of certain responsibilities. For some of you, you're feeling very, very isolated. For some of you, around this new moon, you can have tensions between you and a sibling. You can have some kind of tension that goes on between you and a family member, a loved one. They're going to tell you how wrong you were. They're going to tell you how bad everything was. They're going to tell you something was your fault. And it's going to make you realize that you can't trust that same person moving forward. Certain things that have been going on behind the scenes and behind the surface, Hermit card, Sun card, are meant to come to light. The way they have been feeling for quite some time need to come to light. For some of you, it's going to happen around the new moon. For others, it's been the days before. For others, it'll be the days afterwards. But certain truths and understandings, Page of Swords, are coming to light. Because you can't trust certain people the same way, because you can't support certain people the same way, because you know the best thing to do moving forward is to do it on your own. There is this energy about doing something on our own. We have the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Coins. You can create more luck for yourself if you're doing it on your own. You can be more focused on where you're going into the future and how you're going to succeed moving forward if you do things on your own. Luck is on your side. Six of Wands, a new moon in your fifth house of luck. Luck can be on your side. Allowing other people to move on their own without your support, without your love, without your affection is going to bring things full circle later. But in the moment, it can make you feel very, very isolated. It can make you very reflective of the things that you need to heal within your heart. Because again, so many of you keep falling into this pattern of living in the past and not actually healing those events when we start to live through them. Relive that situation, relive that conversation, reliving that moment. We don't necessarily realize like how much of that we need to heal for you to be able to have the relationship that you desire with certain family members. Then there is something that you need to heal for you to be able to overcome parts of that past. And that argument needs to happen with your brother, with your sister, with your cousin. Doesn't matter. That truth needs to come out. For some of you, you're tired of being in charge of everything and everyone, or not being respected the way that you deserve. So you're just washing your hands of certain situations and saying, if you know better, then go do it. Go do it without me. And if you're in that situation, again, they're not going to come back around for months. Be prepared for that. Wash your hands, let them go. Let them go fall on their face on their own. Focus on that inner work, focus on the healing, focus on what you need to do to overcome all of those old wounds and that bubbling insecurity and those emotions that keep coming to the surface. Focus on you. Okay. I love and appreciate every single one of you. I know there's more energy that's happening around this new moon, but it's so hard to pick up on all of it. Many of us, we are just going into this energy, mulling over certain things, again, getting a plan, strategizing, putting something into motion, but it's not all going to be in motion at this very moment. We have to make some calls. Got to put down a deposit. We got to do a couple of things before that energy can take shape. And so many of us, we're going through this new moon, going to our corners, resetting our energy before we go out for that next round. And many of us are going to go into that next round swinging. I hope you know that. Okay. I love and appreciate every single one of you. I will talk to everybody very, very soon. Subscribe.